pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on July 31st, 2021, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific business of that body. We have roll call, please.
Ms. Cho? Here. Ms. Silver? Ms. Morel?
Here.
Ms. Richter? Here. Ms. Ramba?
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Rubino?
Here.
Ms. Stasu? Here. Ms. Colback?
Here.
You have quorum.
The board will be convening to executive session using no link, correct? We've decided not to use a link?
We'll use the link for
We are, okay. The board will be convening to executive session using a different and private Zoom link. This public Zoom link will remain open and the board will return in approximately 2 hours to the public meeting. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morel, second Richter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the board is now convened into executive session to conduct superintendent interviews.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on July 31st, 2021, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. May we have roll call, please?
Ms. Cho? Here. Ms. Silver?
Here.
Ms. Morel?
Here.
Ms. Richter? Here. Ms. Ramba?
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Rubino?
Here.
Ms. Stasu? Here. Ms. Colback?
Here.
You have quorum.
So tonight, the board will conduct interviews of the various candidates who have put in for the open BOE seat. We heard last week from 2 of the candidates, Marie Michelle Jean-Louis and Min Jean Kim, and tonight Kim Curry is here to give her statement to be limited to 3 minutes. And then if any board members have questions of the candidates, we'll take questions. So you're welcome to approach the podium. First of all, I would like to, so at the mic, you don't need to keep the mask on. You can take the mask off if it's. Can you hear me?
Not the.
Try again. Hit the. It was on?
Yeah, it's on.
You hear me now?
Not really.
Mike doesn't seem to make it louder. Maybe move it a little closer and down, I don't know.
Better?
That's better.
Okay, great. First of all, I'd like to thank those of you that are here in attendance, as well as those participating via Zoom, for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this
Yeah,
evening.
take the mic, it somehow. Yeah, I think that might be better.
That might be better.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kimberly Curry. Just to provide you with a little bit of background, I grew up in Northwest New Jersey, attending the Jefferson Township Public School System. I've lived in Fort Lee for the past 13 years, moving here after I got married in 2008. My husband, Jim Curry, is a lifelong resident of Fort Lee with deep roots in this community. He spent most of his career working for the Fort Lee Department of Public Works, retiring after 30 years of service. Through my husband and his brother, Steve Curry, who is the current Fort Lee fire official and emergency management services volunteer, I've had the opportunity to meet many Fort Lee residents who have a long history of dedicated service to Fort Lee. I've always been interested in serving this community, and these relationships that I've built have reinforced my commitment to do so. I have two stepchildren who both attended the Fort Lee school system, starting in school 4 and then moving to middle school and then graduating from Fort Lee High School. My son Christopher went on to Montclair State University, where he graduated cum laude, and then attending the Bergen County Police Academy, and he currently serves as a Fort Lee police officer. My daughter Kylie attended Bergen Community College, graduating with an associate's degree, and then finishing up her bachelor's degree at Montclair State, where she graduated summa cum laude, top of her class. I couldn't be prouder for their achievements, and I believe that neither one of them would be as accomplished today if it had not been for the wonderful education they received here in Fort Lee. I bring strong business experience to the Fort Lee Board of Education position. I worked for Prudential Financial for the past 33 plus years, retiring earlier this year. During my career with Prudential, I held various leadership positions, from managing IT projects, industry-wide initiatives, and leading teams of project managers, analysts, and developers. Over my tenure, I've developed strong collaboration, mentoring, and analytical skills. When this opportunity became available, I shared my interest in this position with former colleagues and also staff members to ask them their thoughts around what leadership attributes I could contribute to this committee. So these include leading with integrity, doing the right thing for the right reasons, and standing for the right even when it's against popular opinion. I believe that these skills, as well as my passion and drive for public education, would make me a natural fit for this open position. In addition to my strong business experience, I currently serve as secretary of the Fort Lee Rotary Club. I've been leading the club's efforts to adopt local families and individuals in need of financial and other assistance. Most recently, I had the opportunity to work with the Fort Lee Health Department and the head of the guidance department at Fort Lee High School to help a particular student in need that was a freshman. The student, she was raised by a single mom who then became homeless, and subsequently the mother passed away. The student is now staying with Fort Lee family who hopes to adopt her. The club was able to provide financial assistance to aid with clothing and daily care expenses. I was overly impressed with the huge support system that the Fort Lee counselors and faculty provided to her and continue to provide to her today. When this opportunity with the Board of Education became available, I said to myself, this is for me. The Fort Lee Rotary Club also is very active with the High School Interact Club, providing leadership activities such as Rotary Youth Leadership Awards and other opportunities for promising Fort Lee students. In closing, I fully understand the commitment for this position, and I would work diligently to be a strong advocate for all the students of Fort Lee. So in closing, thank you for your time this evening. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So, I don't know if all three candidates want to come up and take some seats closer to us, and.
Well, are we giving them the opportunity to speak again if they wish to?
Oh, sure. Would either of you like to do another statement?
What?
I mean, I was going to, so should I can yes, go again, yeah. We're going for the same thing, but just for the people that weren't here. Would that be okay?
No, certainly.
Thank you. Hi, thank you. Again, should I hold this? Hi, thank you everyone in this room and whoever was watching on Zoom for giving me the opportunity again to speak here tonight. Just in case people weren't able to watch on Zoom or be here on last week on Wednesday, I would like to give my 3-minute statement again. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Min Jung Kim, and I am one of the 3 candidates tonight. I was born in Korea and my family immigrated to the States when I was 10 years old. I moved to New Jersey when I got married, and my husband, Min Sung, and I have been married for almost 10 years. Min Sung has lived in Fort Lee ever since his elementary school years, and he now serves as a detective in the Fort Lee Police Department. We have 2 lovely children. Our daughter, Adele, just turned 5 last week, and will be entering kindergarten at school number 3 in the fall, and our son, Brayden, turned 2 years old not too long ago. As for my educational background, I double majored in math and music for my undergraduate degree, and I studied childhood education for my master's degree. I am certified to teach K-12th grade and specialize in mathematics. This year will be my 7th year teaching algebra to Tenneck Middle School students in Closter, New Jersey. Throughout my whole entire life, I was exposed to a lot of leadership opportunities, and my experience volunteering at various organizations has helped me nurture my leadership skills. I have always been very interested in serving the community and helping and being involved in the community, and the desire has always been there to serve on the board and to run for the board, and it grew bigger ever since I became a mom and an educator. Having always been a strong advocate for my own children and the students I teach, I now want to be advocate for your children and for the families in this town. Additionally, my background and experience uniquely qualify me for this job. Throughout my career, I've always been known as someone who plans with a specific goal in mind and works essentially to make sure that the plan is executed on time and successfully. I believe that board members must carry out separate responsibilities together as a team, supporting each other, working alongside of the school administrators to manage school system effectively. I want to make a positive difference in our community and in our schools. I want to make decisions through the lens of what's best for Fort Lee students of all ages, and I will ensure that I will work with urgency to get things done. I have a full understanding of the commitment for this position that this position requires, and all of the behind-the-scenes work I will need to put in and learn. Any opportunity for me as a lifelong learner to continue to learn to better serve our community and our children is exactly why I chose to submit my letter and exactly why I submitted my petition to run in the election this coming November for my full 3-year term. As an educator and a mother of 2 young children, it is my hope that I can use my abilities to support the growth of Fort Lee District. Board members are their community's representatives. I want to try my best to ensure that the education provided to our Fort Lee children is the best we can offer. Thank you so much for your time and listening to me.
Thank you.
Good evening, Fort Lee parents.
So if you want, it's up to you, yeah.
Good evening, Fort Lee parents, students, community, and Fort Lee Board of Education. My name is Marie Michelle John Lee, and I'm a proud pioneer currently serving on the Fort Lee High School Parent Advisory Committee, looking to serve for you on the interim vacant seat of the Board of Education. I am also seeking to finish the remaining 2 years of the seat in this year's election to continue my dedication to our community and support my belief in the power of educational excellence. My passion and commitment to the community has been unwavering during my 9 years in Fort Lee. I moved here in 2013 with my son, Justin Armwood, who was entering the 4th grade. Education has always been an integral part of my life. I have experienced that knowledge is power, both professionally and, most importantly, personally. My educational experience helped shape me who I am today. First entering into pre-law, then pivoting to finding my love for the English language to earning my degree. As an administrative strategic thinker for over 25 years, there are many things that I have learned: how to build, lead, collaborate with diverse teams to achieve common goals, the value of organizational development, adapting to ongoing challenges, how to thrive as a team, and obtaining skills to mentor high-performing young talent by identifying their skill set. I have been actively involved with the school district's PTA since 2014. I volunteered with community organizations such as Fort Lee National Little League, the Fort Lee Chamber of Commerce, supporting the AOF basketball tournament, Pleasant Park, to name a few. I have learned the goals of the district and developed an understanding and respect for its vision. I believe the goals have the power to further transform our advanced school system into a modern incubator for success. By being awarded the seat and supporting the Board of Education, my intentions are as follows: transition my role from an interim seat on the Board of Education to a permanent position with my eyes wide open, a fresh perspective by way of hearing our parents and our community, giving our children the opportunity to succeed, to successfully transcend academically and socially, communicate and develop the district's goals, and help them come to fruition while teaching our children the most important skills to be successful: passion, curiosity, creativity, critical thinking, empathy, and grit. And I also would represent kindness, mindfulness during this difficult time of COVID-19, social unrest, and disruption among so many industries, helping to make an impact that is meaningful to everyone in our community. And last but not least, contribute to keeping our schools competitively ranked. Your support means everything to me. As a professional and a mother of a child in the school system, this is an opportune time for me to maximize my involvement with my town. Please consider me as your candidate. We can collaborate very well together, and I look forward to continuing the work that has already been done, as continuity is more important now than ever. Thank you.
So if we might invite the three of you to come up closer near this table, and board members may have some questions. Yeah, I would bring a chair. What's that?
Change it.
Kevin, hold up, can we find out if there are people on this meeting, or do you have any?
There are approximately 40 participants.
Thank you.
And that includes us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so whoever has a question, feel free.
I have no questions. I wish we could pick all three, but.
Anyone? Okay.
So this is for all three of you, so you could just, go down.
Flip a coin, go in alphabetical,
Whatever,
whatever you'd like.
I don't care. I'm, okay. So our meetings are held basically every 2 weeks. That's a lie. Okay. With meetings once a month, that's also a lie. During the summer, a trustee can be removed from the board if they are absent for more than 3 consecutive meetings. Members are not only required to devote time to our public meetings, but they are also required to volunteer their time by joining committees that might be of interest to them. Will you have enough time, or do you see any problem in your schedules in devoting this kind of time? As somebody who's on the board, so now I'm just adding, as somebody who's on the board for 9 years, trust me when I tell you, it's more than what this is saying. I'm just letting you know, committees are major, they're a major part, so.
Well, and to Holly's point, we had meetings last week, we have another meeting this week. Superintendent is trying to schedule meetings with us to talk about a reopening plan, and that, all of that is on top of the regular meetings, that you see published. And so you saw last year, we had regular, almost weekly meetings as we started the reopening of schools. So
And just, God help you, sorry, Esther, if
Now.
you're on, and for the teachers, hey, hi, if you're on negotiations, just saying, anybody can start.
Well, this wasn't my first, intent to run.
Actually, can you guys spread out a little bit more so you don't need to wear the mask? It's difficult to hear you. Thank you.
This was not my first time, this was not my first intent to run on the Board of Ed. The other times that I did not run was because of time. My job requires a lot of travel and a lot of time with the jobs that I've had. I made a conscious effort to make sure that I discussed it with all stakeholders at work, at home, to make sure that I dedicate this piece of a part of my life, if it became a part of my life, because it is important, and you need to carve out that time no matter what, like even at work, meetings could pop up on the calendar at the last minute, you have to make the time for it. So I made sure that I made that very clear to my employer that this is something that I wanted to do. Last year and the year before, it was an issue, but I need to dedicate this. And if there are meetings that pop up that need to be, that I need to be at, I need to be there.
So same thing, along the same line, I am fully committed. I know the multitude of hours that you guys put into, representing our community. So I am fully aware and I'm fully, prepared to have, this as one of my priorities, amongst other things that's going on in my life. But yes, this will be I know that this is not an easy job that you guys do. So I will be fully committed.
I also concur. After working at Prudential for 33 years, we worked for 14, hour days most of the time. So I know what it takes to be fully committed, whether it's projects or whatever the situation may be. So I'm quite aware of the effort that needs to go into this position and fully committed to take that on. I've also had conversations internally with my family, my husband, my children, and my brother-in-law, and they fully support me in this endeavor, and so I'm very comfortable that I can meet all the needs.
Thank you. What else?
I guess I don't need to ask what prompted you to submit your submit your application? Because I feel like you all addressed that in your statement, so I'm not gonna have you rehash that. Yeah, so I guess I'll ask, is there anything in particular that interests you about joining the Board of Education?
Well, I know that, as board members, you're representing the community, so you have to work with everybody that's in the community, and your focus should be, serving the students and the families and, whatever our students need in our town. And as a mom and as an educator, one of the goals that I wanted to focus on if I get to serve as a board member is my expertise is in teaching, education, and curriculum planning. So that would be one of the specific goal that's in my mind. I've been on multiple meetings. I work in Closter, so 7 other towns nearby. We always have teachers come together. We dissect each question by question for a midterm, final, and we really tie it to the Common Core standards. And my expertise is in analyzing data and assessment scores. So things like that could be, I think that would be one of the goals that I would focus on if I do get to join. That kind of excites me to be able to do
Kim, you want to go next?
I go next. I have 2 particular goals in mind. One is I'd like to continue to work in a team environment and collaborate and work with the board to drive change or additional policies or processes. Importantly, Board of Education, I did that very well at Prudential, and I think that between that and my finance background, as far as managing projects to budgets, I would add a lot of value there. On a personal level, I like to be involved or participate in the reopening plan. It's very important to me after what I've seen last year with COVID-19, even in my own work environment, that it's been really challenging for I'm sure all of you, your children, and your parents, and and I really feel passionate about making sure that kids can return to school, but making sure that safety is the #1 priority, and encouraging all of us to make sure that they feel safe and that they're able to continue to flourish, because I think it's important that they have that socialization to to grow academically and socially.
Like him, have a lot of project management experience, working with my work, and just being a part of the school district for so long, being a part of the PTA, getting to know so many families within the district, and understanding, not just getting to know the families, but understanding the children in the district. I know a lot of the children in the district, and I can walk into a supermarket and they'll see me and they'll call me by name, hi Justin's mom or whatever. But it's at the end of the day, you need to understand and know your community, and I feel that by being on the board, I know my community, I understand my community, I hear their issues all the time. And I'm not saying that I'm making any promises to the community that I'm gonna make things all better, because you guys are doing a good job, and I just feel that with us working as a team and us just hearing each other and just tightening those screws and making our educational system just so much better than it is right now, we can set our kids up for success. And that's really, really important, that they'll be able to go out in the world and function, and with COVID-19, it was a very hard year. I kept my son home because I didn't feel that it was safe for them to go into the buildings. And I feel that some teachers didn't feel comfortable going into the buildings. Some coaches didn't feel that, they wanted the kids to come into the building. So I want teachers, students, families at home to be safe. And I want to be a part of that process. I want to be a part of helping that going back to school process to make sure that we cover and check off everything that we need to check off so our parents can feel safe to send their kids to school.
Anyone else? So I actually have 2 questions, but they're kind of not related to each other, so I'll start with one if that's okay. How would you handle the requests if approached by an individual or special interest groups?
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, just if, there's something, an agenda item, or just anything actually in the community, sometimes we're approached by members of the community, whatever member they are. How would you handle any kind of specific request that they give to you individually, or any particular special interest group? So how would you handle that?
From my understanding, I think we work as a board. I shouldn't be taking those types of requests specifically. I should be bringing it to the team, I would think.
Just asking everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Not just you.
That's a really, deep question. I was just trying to think. First of all, I think it's important as a board member to listen. So, you should be listening to everyone around you, and that's what your job is, right? As a board member. So, number one, be a listener. And even if it's a specific issue or any, minor, big issue, I feel like we should raise a concern as a whole group, as a whole body together and discuss. And that's, our focus should be students. So if that issue is pertaining, for entire school district or just in general, if it affects our students' learning or education, then I feel like that needs to be addressed in a way. It's, with respect and with, I'm not too sure what it will be like, but I think also communication is very important, transparency is very important. So I think those are, being open-minded is also important to be able to kind of, discuss what the issue might be, and to be able to have some type of solution towards that issue would be very important.
I would agree that listening is important and that we as board members should always be listening to our community. Being approached special interest, I would defer that to the board. I would not voice my own personal opinion. I think that we would work together as a team, and I would raise the talking points, and then we could talk about next steps or how we would want to handle that or communicate that.
And then, sorry, my second question is, could you support a board decision you did not vote in favor of? Why or why not?
I can talk about that because I've had many experiences in my project management roles where, as I mentioned before, I make my opinion known, and sometimes that goes against the popular decision. I think that in any environment, whether it's the board or in the project teams that I've worked on, we've come to a consensus of how we should proceed, and that may be against what my personal opinion is, but I support my team, I would support the board and projects that I worked on, and we would just move forward from there.
I also am a team player. However, I feel that, if it's a certain topic that I just come back to advocating for the students and the families. So I'm a mom, my kids will be in school also, and if it's giving the opportunities to have our students have diverse education, voting on those things would make sense. But if it's something that's along the line of, obviously it wouldn't be an issue of taking away any of those things. So it's a difficult decision, but I think my focus will come back to what's good and what's important for the students.
Disruption and going against the grain sometimes can be a good thing, and sometimes it could be a bad thing. working together, as Ming said, working together to make sure that it's for the benefit of the children, is the first priority, when it comes to that. We just have to work together, and if there's a topic that I don't necessarily agree with the board in general, I'll make my comments known, of course, but we do have to work together as a team to push forward what we need to push forward for the benefit of the kids.
Thank you. Second. Anyone else? Okay, can I have a motion to open the floor to the public? Motion Morel, second Stasu, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, from the back. Okay, so we'll hear first from any members of the public that are physically located at the cafetorium tonight. And then we'll take questions, take comments, from those participating remotely. You will please select the raised hand button in the upper left corner. Our board secretary, Harkeisha Taylor, will recognize each community member in the order of the raised hands by lowering the hand and unmuting the microphone if you are muted. Please then state your name and home address for the record and begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. So, do we have anyone here physically present that would like to speak?
Well, actually, we want to let the candidates that are going to speak so we don't make music here.
You guys can retreat to wherever you're comfortable. But we would like you all to stay.
There's pizza over there, you guys are welcome.
Hi, my name is Tanya.
It's on.
I live at 275 Tom Hunter Road. I don't think this microphone works, but it's okay.
Tanya, if you hold it, or what's in
We
the.
hear you.
It
We
works.
hear you.
You're good.
Perfect.
Okay, that's fine.
I hear you.
Anyway, my name is Tanya Byers-Kang. I live at 275 Tom Hunter Road in Fort Lee, New Jersey. I'm happy to see that the board is adhering to the 3-minute rule. Yep, I will be happy to step down. Unfortunately, that was not the case on 6/22. Parents were actually encouraged to speak 7, 8, 9 minutes. No, we'd like to hear more. Tell us more, please, elaborate. That's what happened on the night of 6/22. So now I'm gonna move on to the students, which is the most important, and all 3 of these candidates are amazing. Every single one of them are amazing. They all said great things, and no, it's not an easy job, but I'm going to ask again for orientation for the students, for the district. It's very important for them to know where they're going, and also, like was mentioned by one of the candidates about the reopening plan, if you could let the parents know as soon as possible exactly how it's going to look, how they eat their lunch, will they take their masks off, how will things go. That will help alleviate a lot of the stress that the parents and the children have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Ms. Byers-Kang, before you sit down, if I may.
Yes.
2 things. Can everybody hear me? Is this working?
Yes.
We're good to go? In regard to orientations, our administrative staff is working toward that end.
Thank you.
So they're in the process of communicating with their staff and just making sure the availability, more information will be forthcoming to parents. So I want to allow the administrators the opportunity to kind of prepare accordingly with them. Secondly, as you know, the information in regard to reopening and masks and quarantining and all of that is very fluid.
Yeah.
And it's changing on a daily basis.
Minutely.
It really is, every day. So my intent in not delaying but waiting as long as we possibly can is so that I'm not sending out a new plan every single day,
right,
which is going to make. So with that said, please know we're working diligently in-house. There was a statement made in regard to, typically the board has a pandemic committee, and it's made up of,
yes,
as you know, right, of 4 members. And it being such a hot topic last year, there was a lot of movement on that committee. People wanted to be on it. I have requested the ability to meet with everyone. So the full board will be totally aware of what's going on with the plan prior to its presentation. coming up. So we'll all kind of know what's going on, but as soon as I can, I promise you that we will, but we're working on it now.
That sounds amazing. Depending on how things go, I mean, it's just gonna be like, there's always just a couple variations. It's gonna be mask or no mask, it's gonna be virtual, no virtual. You don't know that for sure, but what you do know is there's a possibility that all of it could happen. So all I'm asking is that as a district and as a board, you have plans for worst case scenario, best case scenario. And if it's possible, let people know best case scenario, worst case scenario, middle scenario. So, when the governor comes on at 2:00 and says, hey, we're in the red, everyone knows, yep, we're in the red, this is what Fort Lee's gonna do, that's what we've been told we're gonna do. I think that makes it a lot easier than people sitting at home thinking like, okay, is there gonna be virtual? Will I be able to? I ran into a basketball player today, I don't wanna go over my 3 minutes anyway, who was like, who knows? Who knows if there's gonna be virtual, there's not gonna be virtual, or will there be virtual teachers? But I get it, but I appreciate you responding to me, and I appreciate all you guys doing what you do.
And having those different plans is exactly what it is that we're gonna work on, because we may have to turn on a dime, right? So the day before, the governor may direct us to do certain things, so we need to make sure that we have those plans in place.
Very important.
What we do know, which is important publicly, is any plan that we come up with, as well thought out and diligent as it is, will never make 100% people happy, right? We're going to do exactly what it is that our candidates for the board said, and make sure that our decisions are in the best interest of our students and our staff, right? Because their safety is equally as important. So we're going to do the very best we can. Right now, the governor is saying full day in person. He has not deviated from that stance, but we will have plans in case he does.
Yeah, so just thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Anyone else here in the room like to speak? Okay, Akeisha, do you have any raised hands?
Yes. Seal Ann Santana, I'm promoting you to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Seal Ann.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Hi everyone. Happy Monday. My name is Josefa Sion Santana. I live at 2465 Camner, Fort Lee. I have a question for the candidates. First, I want to thank all of them for stepping up to fill the spot. I'm sure it's difficult, but the question I have,
Just before you keep going, the public is not going to ask questions of the candidate.
I thought we could.
So because public comment, you can make a comment, but no, this isn't an opportunity for the members of the public to ask the candidates. Under our policy, the board does that, and we've just concluded that.
Hold on. I have a question though. When you guys did, I remember when Kristen and Lauren and everybody did the Board of Ed that we met at the high school, you were able to ask the candidates questions.
That was a debate in advance of an election where questions are asked. This is, the board determines which of the candidates will be seated for the position. It's a different procedure. And there may be debates as the November election becomes closer. There may be similar debates like you're referring to, but that's not what this process is.
And just to clarify, those are not hosted by the Board of Education.
Correct, exactly.
Just
an important point.
Yeah, just to
those
delineate.
Debates are civic groups in town. The PTAs frequently will host a debate, not the Board of Education.
Okay, so this was really a question for them, but I'll turn it on to you guys because I think it's something that's important and probably that has come up in the last couple of months with all the different all the different comments and all the different situations that we had. As a board, we have 7 schools in the district, right? So we have 4 elementary schools, intermediate, middle school, high school, right? What will be done in order to make sure everybody doesn't work as a silo, right? Because everybody really works in a silo. Nobody really all work together. So there's not some kind of committee, which I would think would definitely be the board, right? That actually works together to ensure that all the voices are heard and there's best practices shared within each school. So if something great happens at school 3 or something great happens at school 1, also to help with the transitions of the children when they go in from elementary to the intermediate school. I know I was one of the parents where my daughter was one of the first, her class was one of the first kids that enter intermediate school. And I had to fight to get like orientation done because they didn't want to do it, right? I remember that. And I just feel that it's so siloed and it's not a clean transition. So we talk about caring, working together, but we need to make sure that there's like a set journey for these kids. Why, if there's best practices going on in the school, why are we not sharing that? If there are clubs that are going on in the school, right? Why are we not saying, hey, you know what? This school had a great club. Maybe it's something we should do district wide, right? So everybody's getting a fair shot and everybody's getting the same resources to be able to actually excel and have the tools to be successful, right? As children. And I think that doesn't happen. I think we all work as one big board of ed, Fort Lee, with different pockets of, how I would put it in my business world, right? Different pockets of brands and businesses. That's how we work instead of being one big brand across the board and making sure that we're sharing best practices. And that's it.
Okay, may I just have a moment? I know that we're over the 3 minutes. I want to thank you very much for your question. And the reason I asked President Colback the opportunity to answer is I think your question is more posed to me. I think as an interim superintendent in a district or a superintendent, right, it's my job to make sure that our individual schools are not running as silos. So I feel badly hearing that. And although I've only been here a month yesterday, I think it's important to take what it is that you're saying. Best practices ought to be shared. And there are certain things that absolutely can go across district, where an elementary school's best practice is going to be different than a middle school's best practice. But now that I'm hearing this, I know you posed it to the board's job is to make sure that our schools are run well, but not to run them. And my job is to kind of work toward that end. So I'm going to take what you said, and when I do have administrative council meetings and retreat meetings, I'll talk about that. Because if that's a sentiment that is pervasive, I think it's something that we really need to look into. Because as big as we are as a district, it's as small as we want to become when it comes to those common practices. So thank you for that, and we'll work toward that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There are no other raised hands. May I have a motion to close the floor to the public? There is a raised hand. I will share it with the public. If you could raise your hands now. Please raise your hands now. Once all the hands have been called upon, the participants have been called upon, we will close public session. Again, please raise your hand now if you would like to make a public comment. Barry, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Barry?
Sorry about that. Something technical happened over here. Are you able to hear me?
We can hear you, Barry.
You can hear me? Okay. Your audio. Sorry for chiming in at the last second. I figured I was in line. But anyway, thank you very much. My name is Barry Brewer. I live at 1600 Center Avenue in Fort Lee. Thank you for providing me and other members of the community the opportunity to share our thoughts. Recently, we've seen conversations revolving around diversity, and unfortunately, these conversations usually occur when crisis hits rather than anticipating problems that could have been foreseeable if there was a process in place to assess cultural and social trends. A member of the community mentioned last time taking racial and ethnic diversity into account when appointing a new member of the board. An interesting point. Nevertheless, it is fundamentally discriminatory to make any inclusion criteria based on racial, ethnic, religious, sexual, or cultural identity. It is a deep and difficult problem. I submit what we are ultimately talking about is a plurality of views, which is critical because views from other people's perspectives will see beyond our own limited experiences. We throw around the words race and diversity as if there is some commonly accepted something scientifically defined. There isn't. Diversity extends to income, family composition. For instance, heterosexual married, single parent, homosexual married, mixed cultural, and varying levels of socioeconomic status and age. Perfect measurement is not possible, but that should not stop us from trying to understand each other. After all, we as individuals cannot see the world through another person's eyes. Just as I cannot see my own face as I sit here, you cannot see your own face as you listen. If you are looking at me and I am looking at you, we are literally looking in opposite directions. But what makes us human is our ability to empathize and to accept that others have experiences outside of our own. I simply ask that the board develop a process to analyze and assess cultural trends within our school's community and actively seek to further understand and find avenues for inclusion, particularly for those who are struggling or even afraid to make their voices heard. I also request that the processes are made available for the community to understand and evaluate. We are truly blessed to have a changing and expanding cultural landscape in our community, and leadership requires that we are able to foresee problems before they occur and have processes in place, if not to avoid problems altogether, but at least to attenuate them before too far and people are hurt. I hope that you choose to bring it to the board, direct their attention thusly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other raised hands? There are no other raised hands. Now may I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Rubino, second Morel, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
abstentions? May I have a motion to move into executive session to discuss the BOE candidates?
Motion.
Motion Morel, second Stasu. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Candy, please, rejoin the private link.
Okay.
These things are always difficult decisions. Thank you to the three candidates for all the work you put in with your statements and coming and we'll entertain a motion from the floor to nominate one of the BOE candidates.
Are we making the
Yes,
motion now?
Wait, Candy, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Mimi Jean Louise.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Do we have any other motions?
Yes, I'm gonna nominate Kim Curry. I second.
Okay, Kim Curry. Any other nominations?
I nominate Minjong Kim.
I'll
Okay,
second it.
and we have a second. So we're gonna vote in the order of the nominations. So could you do roll call, please, for Michelle and Louis?
One moment, please. So the motion on the floor, the nomination on the floor is for Marie Michelle Don-Louis, made by Ramba, seconded by Hans Silver. Ms. Hans Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
No.
Mr. Rubino?
No.
Ms. Morel?
No.
Ms. Stassen?
No.
Ms. Richter?
No.
Ms. Colback?
No. Okay, so we will go to the second nomination, which I think was Kimberly Curry, made by Holly and seconded by Julie.
Ms. Ramba?
No.
Ms. Richter? No. Ms. Hans Silver?
No.
Ms. Stassen?
Yep.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
No.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Didn't he motion?
Our nomination is for Minjong Kim. Motion made by Ms. Richter, seconded by Mr. Rubino. Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
No.
Ms. Stassen? No. Ms. Cho?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
No.
Ms. Ramba?
No.
Ms. Hans Silver?
No.
Ms. Colback?
No.
So the votes are 2 for Marie Michelle Jean-Louis, 4 for Kim Curry, and 2 for Min Jong Kim.
So we are going to hold a runoff of the 2 candidates who each received 2. And whoever gets the most votes in that runoff will then run against Kim Curry.
So the motion, the nomination on the floor, there will be 2. The first is for Marie Michelle Jean-Louis. Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Say it again, who is it for?
Do I say a name or do I?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
What do you
sorry.
have?
So it's a runoff between the 2, so,
Do I say a name or do I?
The nomination on the floor is for Marie Michelle Jean-Louis.
Okay,
one
so-
second.
Marie's currently on the floor as the nominee. So for each person.
Got it, okay.
All 3 candidates again?
No,
Just
two
the
that are
2.
tied.
That's what I understood.
And
Marie's up now. Got it.
Okay, thank you. So yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
No.
Mr. Rubino?
No.
Ms. Morel?
No.
Ms. Stassen?
No.
Ms. Richter?
No.
Ms. Colback?
No.
And the second nomination and vote for this runoff is for Min Jong Kim. Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Pass. Wait, I'll come back.
I thought you called her.
Ms. Stassen?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
No.
Ms. Han Silver?
No.
Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Okay, so now we will have a runoff between Min Jong Kim and Kimberly Curry.
Ms. Ramba? The nomination on the floor is for Kim Curry.
No.
We will voting for 2, Kim Curry, and then secondly, I will do the runoff winner, Min Jong Kim. Ms. Ramba?
No.
Ms. Richter?
No.
Ms. Han Silver?
No.
Ms. Stassen?
I'm sorry, who is this for?
Kim Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
No.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Colback?
Yes.
The next nomination is for Min Jong Kim. Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
No.
Ms. Stassen?
No.
Ms. Cho?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
No.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Colback?
No. Okay, so the result is 4-4,
And now it goes up
and
to
so
the
the
executive.
executive county superintendent will select a candidate for the board. Do I have a motion to close, adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Motion Morel, second Stasu, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
That was so confusing. I was
All
like,
up here,
yes.
I can say goodbye to the public?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.